Coming up on this edition of Command Center, Coach Commands with Ron Rivera. The Commanders get their second win in a row, defeating Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers last weekend. We will talk with Coach about what led to the victory. Having Terry McLaurin out there never hurts your chances of winning. The star wideout had one of his best games of the season in the win over the Packers. Coach and Logan Paulsen break down what makes Terry scary. And a trip to Indianapolis to face the Colts coming up for the Commanders. Coach talks about how the team has been preparing for playing in Lucas Oil Stadium. It all starts right now. Get a great deal on a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle. Peace of mind with incredible benefits. Finding the Honda you really want just got easier with Honda certified pre-owned. Hurry, see your local Honda dealer today. And welcome on in. Julie Donaldson here with the head coach Ron Rivera. And of course, Logan Paulsen is standing by to go over some of the film from last week with Coach. Is that, Jason?
Oh my gosh.
Halloween! It is Halloween time. Just wait until you see Coach always gets into the spirit. You dress up for Halloween as well. We're actually going to have, after the game on Monday, some trick-or-treating here at the facility. So we'll be excited to get everybody into the spirit. But I don't know. We'll have to see if Jason makes an appearance.
Scary.
Very much so. Okay, so that's coming a little bit later. But Coach, let's talk now about this team coming in here. 2 wins in a row. And when I was talking with a lot of different guys after the win over Green Bay, they're saying it kind of felt a lot different than the win over Chicago. But that's the only way you can put together a streak is 2 in a row. What was your biggest takeaway from that?
More than anything else, there's really 2 weeks in a row where we've had pretty good team play. You know, total contribution. Special teams came up big, made a couple of big plays, had an explosive play. Offense made the plays we needed to have made, a couple of big plays, explosive plays that really were to our benefit, and then defensively being able to shut the door at the end of the game.
Oh, not a single third down converted. Aaron Rodgers for the first time in his career with that one. It was a little bit of a tale of the two halves between Taylor in the first half and the offense in the second half. What did you see that changed the way that Taylor approached the game?
I think early on a little rusty. I think he was a little slow through his progressions, and then I thought he tried to force the ball a couple of times. He started to settle down at the end of the second quarter. Early third quarter, you could really see him get his rhythm, get it going, and then he made a couple of big connections to Terry that I think it really gave him the confidence, and he just continued from there.
I know he says he trusts Terry, and he's had a lot of time actually working with Terry as well, and knowing and understanding this system. But now he's had an extra week with the first team getting those reps. Where is he now feeling prepared for Indianapolis? Well,
I think, again, he's really kind of feeling it out right now. I thought he had a couple of really good days of practice. I know one day he was a little rusty on a couple things. He had to work his way through it, but then he finished strong on Friday, which is probably the most important day.
The guys talk a lot about how his moxie and how he's a gamer, and you could see just the way that there's a certain energy and excitement for him to be able to get that win. Do you notice it in practice? Like, do guys play or approach it any differently with Taylor out there?
Well, I think they do. I think they kind of love the underdog spirit. But, you know, it's funny, in practice, you see Taylor being a little more analytical. You see him as he's studying what's going on. He practices going through his progressions where he may throw the ball out to the flat, but then he'll finish his progressions where he turns his body and looks at the other guys to see what he had. So you see him really thinking himself through practice, trying to get a complete understanding. It's not just wing the ball and go. He's really trying to make sure he understands every nuance.
It's part of the growth.
Yes.
I imagine, from him
very
as well.
much so.
How much does that ground game really kind of help him out as well?
Well, you know, last year we had that 4-game winning streak. We ran the ball 6 more times on the average per game, and we averaged over 100 yards per game. So that's a big plus. That's something that we have to continue to look at, because what it does is it takes a lot of pressure off the offensive line first and foremost. It doesn't allow the defenders to just pin their ears back and go. And anytime you can explode off the ball as an offensive line, that's a huge plus. Secondly, it makes our play action even more viable. They've got to respect it. And that's a big part of Taylor's throwing game, is he's a good play action passer. So that's the things that really helps them. And then the other important thing is it takes a lot of pressure off of Taylor. And then it helps the defense by keeping them off the field.
I was about to say, it keeps the defense honest as well. Defensively, you're not going to be going up against Matt Ryan, a very different quarterback that you haven't seen much film on, not in the league at this level. Sam Ehlinger, how do you prepare for that?
Well, it's interesting in talking with Logan, one of the things that he and I talked about was the similarities between Ellinger and Taylor. You know, same type of build, same type of athleticism. You know, a guy that has a good set of legs as well as a good arm. So, you know, we've kind of seen this guy. We understand this guy. Now we got to try and hopefully prepare and get it right as to what they're going to try and do. We anticipate a little bit more RPO because that's what he did in college. We do anticipate some play action and try and throw it deep because that's, again, the things that he did well in college.
The challenge of Lucas Oil Stadium indoors gets quite loud in there. How do you prepare for that? Well,
you know, we've had the sound going all week in terms of preparation, so trying to get our offense used to the silent count.
Okay, silent count. We'll see. Excited for Sunday, but you're talking about going over some of the film and how you can prepare for the Colts, so that's coming up with Logan shortly. It is almost Halloween, so let's talk about Scary Terry. He had one of his best games of the season in the win over the Packers last Sunday, hauling in 5 passes for 73 yards and a touchdown. He also caught a first down late in the game to help Washington come out on top. Terry will be looking to keep that momentum going when he returns to his hometown of Indianapolis. Taylor Heineke would probably like that too. So here's a look at the numbers from Terry McLaurin that he's put up this season. In his 4th season, he's recorded 27 receptions for 440 yards, with 2 TDs and averaging just over 16 yards a reception, which puts him in 10th place on the NFL leaderboard for yards per reception. Well, for more on what makes Terry scary, let's head over to the film room. It is presented by Mavenspire. Ransomware goes 3 and out with Mavenspire's Smart as a Service cybersecurity offerings. Learn more at mavenspire.com. Logan, Coach, take it away.
Julie, thanks so much. Coach, really excited to talk after a win, obviously big win against Green Bay, but also I love how you guys played, specifically this guy, Terry McLaurin, I thought did an excellent job in this game. Couple big plays for you. This one in particular, nothing too fancy here, just to go up the sideline and makes a nice contested catch here against one of the best coverage players in the NFL.
Absolutely, and probably the biggest thing really is from the start, Terry's get off. He makes a quick jab step inside, freezes the man just for a second, then gets outside and gets vertical.
Yeah, love it. And again, like, you know, I think people undervalue Terry's vertical speed, right?
Oh, without a doubt.
For him to run by this guy, and then the physicality, you know, he's not the biggest guy in the world. He's not 6'5", 230 pounds. But for him to make this contested catch here, got to love that as well.
Well, the biggest thing about it, more so than anything else, is really how stout he is, okay? Yeah. He can control his body, put his body between the ball and the defender, and really he's the only one that has a chance to catch this ball. But if you go to the tight end zone and you take a real quick look, watch how Taylor takes the safety out of the game.
Yes. Let's talk about the coverage real quick here, Coach, because it is. We talked about how Green Bay, they like to run a lot of cover 3. This is cover 3, right? You get thirds. This guy's going to roll down thirds here. And again, you got to make sure that this guy doesn't get involved in the play. And Terry has nothing to do with that. I like how you said this is all Taylor. Let's go take a look at the end zone real quick.
So as you look at the tight end zone, watch how once he gets the ball, he's looking to his left after the play fake, okay?
Yeah.
The play fake freezes the linebackers, gets the safety, the post safety to work more towards the middle of the field, which really means that if Taylor comes back and throws the deep ball, there's no chance for anybody to come get in the way.
Yes, and again, like, love that by Taylor. Love the understanding of the coverage, right? And again, sometimes you just got to give your big dog a shot, and he makes an excellent play here. And then we got to talk about this too, Coach. This is some wide receiver stuff. I love how he gives him enough space on the sideline here, that he can miss this ball out as opposed to having to be perfect with the throw. It's a great throw, but a little bit of space by Terry. Love that.
Absolutely. One thing he doesn't allow is himself to get pushed to the sideline. And again, that goes to because here's a guy who's very quick, great jab step, gets himself outside, gets on the sideline, but doesn't get pushed to it and gets vertical.
Absolutely. And then again, so love this. They're going to play a little bit man. They don't play a lot of man, but man coverage. And I love here, again, how Taylor understands who you want getting the ball in man-to-man coverage, and that's this guy down here. And the call by Scott to ensure that you've got a man beater married with a zone beater up top, I thought was really nice. And again, you see Terry's quickness and his ability to just kind of create space for himself.
And the nice thing about this is Taylor anticipates it because he knows he's getting pressure off the edge. So what he does is he goes ahead and retreats, but he has enough to put it on the ball, and he throws it on time.
Yeah, on time. And then, Coach, this is kind of one of those sneaky things that people don't, again, underestimate about Terry, but look at the strength here to stay in bounds in a critical situation when the clock's winding down. I mean, Coach, like, that is a pretty cool thing for me to see there. I mean, you don't expect to see that from receivers normally, and the intelligence also. And then this, Coach, man, I'm getting excited here. This is maybe my favorite play of the season so far, right? Again, you get a little bit of pressure up the middle by Clark here. Great rusher right here up in the A gap. Taylor with the composure here. Again, he deserves a ton of credit for this play. But I love when he throws this ball, Coach. This does not look open to me.
No.
This doesn't look open to anybody, I don't think. Maybe to you. You know him better than me. But
well, again, we knew he was coming back. Or I shouldn't say we. Taylor knew he was running the comeback, and it's to the sticks.
Yeah.
So what Tayller really does is he's anticipating it, and he's throwing it to the sticks.
And the thing I love about this, Coach, is that he is fighting through this ball, because right now this is a pretty even opportunity here. He pushes, he accelerates to that football, which gives him an opportunity to make that play.
Yes.
And that's the kind of stuff that a true number one receiver does, and that's probably why he went and paid him all that money.
Absolutely, because again, things like this part of the game when you want it, clutch situation, who do you want to get the ball to? Terry's most certainly one of our guys.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. Coach, as always, I really enjoyed talking ball with you. Excited to see what this group does next week against Indianapolis.
For everything you need to know about the team, do not miss our flagship show, Command Center. We have you covered all week, starting on Mondays with Fred Smoot and Logan Paulsen breaking down the highlights. Wednesdays, London Fletcher and Santana Moss take you onto the practice field for a close-up look at the team. And on Fridays, Santana and Logan Paulsen are here to get you ready for game day. You can see every episode on our YouTube channel and on commanders.com. You can also check us out on NBC Sports Washington weekdays 5:30 and 10 p.m. Keep it here, because when we come back, Coach and Logan are heading into Coach's office to dissect the game tape on Sam Ehlinger and the Colts offense and talk about what challenges the Indy defense might present. And a little later, we will look back at the last time Washington beat the Colts and see what it is going to take to leave Indy with the W tomorrow. You are watching Command Center, Coach Commands with Ron Rivera, presented by your local Honda dealer. Welcome back. It is time for some healthy competition presented by Ortho Virginia, the official orthopedic and sports medicine partner of the Washington Commanders. Here's a look at how the Commanders and Colts stack up on paper. The team is headed to Lucas Oil Stadium tomorrow. Indy is averaging 16 points a game, making them ranked 30th in the league for scoring. Meanwhile, Washington is sitting at just under 18 points a game. The Commanders are averaging 15 yards less each game offensively than the Colts, while defensively allowing just over 22 yards more than Indy. Last season, it was Carson Wentz that was the starter for the Indianapolis Colts. Of course, he's a Commander now, and unfortunately not able to go up against his former team as he had surgery to repair a broken finger. So it is Taylor Heinicke that will get that start. Meanwhile, the Colts making a change at quarterback themselves as they benched Matt Ryan for Sam Ehlinger. So a little bit of a wrinkle on offense and a defense that is not one to look past. It's a lot to prepare for the Washington Commanders this week. So how are they doing that? Well, Logan and Coach are in Coach's office. This is the Rivera Review presented by DC Prime. Not all stakes are created equal.
All right, Coach, so always exciting to talk film with you. We get to talk about something kind of fun. I think this is a little bit nuanced and kind of one of those wrinkles that comes up when you're watching a game, is this overload that Indianapolis runs on third down. They get their three big guys to the top here. Just talk about how that kind of can stress an offense, because you guys do some similar stuff too.
Well, the biggest thing right now, and looking at this and having watched this, what Indianapolis is trying to do is they're trying to create some man matchups. Right? And then what they're trying to do is they're going to bring the nickel off the edge.
The nickel being the guy over the bunch there.
Correct.
30.
He's going to come up, and he's coming up inside. So what really should happen on this, and based on what I've seen, it looks like they're turning the protection to the right side. Mm-hmm. The center's going to take the nose, okay? The guard will take the 3, and it looks like the tackle's kicking out to get the wide 5.
And I think you said something already that I think is interesting. Like, you want your O-lineman to block the 4 bigs, right?
Correct.
So when you get a lineman like this backside guard here can work to the right. And so you should, numbers-wise, be able to pick this up.
Correct. And really what he should be looking at is he should be looking for anybody coming inside to his side.
Yeah.
So he should be spying, as far as it looks to me, at the safety.
Yep.
At the linebacker.
Right.
Those should be his 2 reads.
Yeah.
But as you watch this play unfold, where I think the problem is, I think the running back makes the wrong read.
The backs, man, they're always screwing protections up, you know?
Well, the biggest thing, and we're going to pop over to the tight end zone so we can see how it unfolds. Because again, watch the offensive line turn to the right.
Yeah.
Watch again. The center's going to take the 1, the guard's going to take the 3,
yeah.
and the tackle's going to take the wide 5. Okay, which means to me
those are the defensive linemen there. Yep.
Correct. And what it means to me is the back should be looking for anybody inside, and he could be reading, in my opinion, from 50, 58 over to his right side.
I see. Yep. Because he's that's where his vision should be. But his vision's on the other side of the offensive line here, right? So
correct.
He's put himself in a bad spot pre-snap here.
Correct.
And then again, like I think it's interesting too if you watch the nose and the 3 technique, watch how they loop here. Yeah. I think the guard could even stay home on this potentially, depending on what the protection call is.
Correct. And that's the biggest thing. But in an overload situation, what you're hoping for is a series of one-on-ones, which allows the guys to win.
Yep.
And then you're hoping is the back is releasing fast.
Right.
So as he gets out fast, that means that their nickel is going to come unblocked, and that's exactly what happened.
And I guess there's an expectation that you're not going to blitz to the 3-man surface usually, right?
Well, there is, but that's the funny thing about it is that when you come from the overload side, you've got a series of one-on-ones. And so the unblocked guy is going to be the guy coming off that edge.
I see. Yeah, absolutely.
See, because if you look at this too, and we look at where the back is looking, it looks like the back has got 34.
Yeah.
So now you almost wonder, as this happens, okay, if they're going right, should the guard on the left side of the center block the 1, the center block the 3, the tackle block, the guard block the 5, and now is the tackle responsible?
The story offensively this week is Sam Ehlinger, right?
Yes.
Who would have thought you guys would be playing against Sam Ehlinger this week? Very different skill set than our guy Matt Ryan.
Correct, very much so. Matt's a very prolific style passer. He's tall in the pocket. He's got a strong arm, makes quick decisions, can get the ball out. Sam has got a little bit of that RPO ability.
Right.
He's got a little bit of the quick scramble ability, which we see right here. This is potentially a designed quarterback draw / if you get an opportunity to throw the ball, throw it.
Yeah, and it's interesting with that number 4, Coach. It reminds me a little bit.
Yeah, it does remind me of Taylor, and that was really my first thought when I heard he was coming, that he was going to play.
Yeah,
I remember him when he was coming out a couple years ago.
Really? Yeah.
Liked who he was. Very competitive young man out of Texas. Had a very nice career there. Got an opportunity last year to come in and be part of what Indianapolis is trying to do. And as he's growing and developing, these are the things that he does well. Again, the threat for the run is always there.
Yeah.
So you have to be aware of that. And again, they do run quarterback draw. They do run RPO. So we have to be on our game.
Another thing that sticks out to me is a lot of times young quarterbacks do well against man coverage, right? And so how important is it to kind of make sure, maybe not play a ton of zone, but give him something that he's not used to seeing?
Well, that's exactly it. We have to do some things that are different for him. If we're playing man coverage, we've got to make sure that we're playing at the right time, because the last thing you want to do is have 7 guys with their backs to the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely.
And then if you're playing zone, you want to make sure you disguise it, and now he's got to read his way from going from what he's typically used to in man to finding the zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be an interesting challenge, Coach. As always, really enjoy watching the tape with you, and can't wait to see you guys on Sunday.
All right.
Get ready, Commanders fans, because the Vikings are coming to town. You can get your tickets now for the matchup on November 6th at 1 p.m. Tickets start at just $44. It is our annual Salute to Service game. We will be honoring our military with a service scarf and a hat giveaway. Visit commanders.com/tickets to get your tickets. On game days, do not miss Command Center Game Day Live, the official pregame show of the Washington Commanders. We're live on the air starting 2 hours before kickoff. That's 2 p.m. tomorrow for our matchup with the Colts. You can watch on our YouTube channel, Facebook, and Twitter. And after the game, do not miss Command Center Postgame Live for reaction, analysis, and interviews with head coach Ron Rivera. You can also find that on YouTube. Take command of your game days. Now, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, Coach Rivera will be back here with me in studio. We're looking back at a big win and talking about how we can get another one tomorrow. This is Command Center, Coach Commands with Ron Rivera, presented by your local Honda dealer. Welcome back. You can still get your Command the Cure t-shirt to help the fight against breast cancer. They're $30 each, with all net proceeds going to help support breast cancer patients and research. Head to commanders.com/BCA shirt to get yours. It is time for a winning legacy presented by the Maryland Lottery. Play fast, win fast with new Fast Play games from the Maryland Lottery. Today we're flashing back to October 27th, 2002. That is the last time Washington defeated the Indianapolis Colts. Steve Spurrier was the head coach for that one, and the quarterback at the time, Shane Matthews, went toe-to-toe with Peyton Manning, throwing for 210 yards and 2 TDs. Washington's defense picked off Peyton twice to help seal the 26-21 victory. Coach, it's my goodness, it's been quite a while since Washington has defeated Indianapolis, not necessarily facing them all the time, but what was it about Peyton Manning that made him one of the greatest all times?
Well, you know, he knew what you knew. And that's something special for a quarterback. You line up and you're going to pressure him. He knows you're pressuring him. He can get rid of the ball quickly. So with him, it was always trying to stay ahead of him.
Do you think about that? It's been 20 years since they've defeated Indy. Also, the last time they played in Indianapolis was like 2014. Mm-hmm. Is that something that registers when you're kind of preparing for this and going for the W?
I think sometimes it does. It can be something you get caught up in and could be something that also could bring you down. But more so than anything else, you got to really understand it's about who you're playing. Sure, you're playing the Colts, but who are you playing? You're not playing Peyton, thank goodness.
And you're playing a different quarterback,
yes.
Because they have made those changes.
Yes.
I know a lot of guys probably get a little bit excited saying, okay, we might be able to take advantage of this situation. How do you kind of keep the guys like tempered, understanding that, you know, what they're going up against?
Well, because Sam Ehlinger has a different skill set, okay? He's a mobile guy. He's a quick thinker. He throws the ball on the run very well. Matt Ryan, more of a prolific style pocket passer, a guy that you know where he is. With Ehlinger, you've also got to be aware of the ability to run the ball.
All right, well, this team did pretty good stopping the run the past few weeks as well. Defensively, they're no slouch. Mm-hmm. What are you expecting and really wanting to see from your offense?
Well, the biggest thing is I'd love to see us control the tempo of the game. Run the ball effectively, and again, set up what we want to do with play action, which will help us get the ball downfield.
What has the atmosphere been with the players here? Because it's been, as we know, it was a little bit of a slow start, but kind of getting that confidence back after Green Bay.
I think it's a great thing, just because, you know, the nice thing is they've worked hard. You know, things didn't always come easy early on, but it seems like we've put it together. The guys understand what's needed from them to give us a chance to be successful, and I think they're building off of that. And like you said, their confidence is up.
And the one thing we really saw, especially in Green Bay, was a complementary football. And I know that's something we've been talking about, is not just even with offense, defense, and special teams, but the defensive line complementing those in the back end. And it's just, it seemed to kind of come together, something to build off of, and hopefully to put 3 in a row together in Indianapolis. Coach, thank you so much. Thanks everybody for joining us on Coach Commands. Logan Paulsen, aka Jason, will be with us again next week as well.